Chapter 3. I open my eyes. Another boy who looks exactly like me is sitting beside me on the floor. I don't believe it, I whisper, watching the other frightened boy whisper exactly the same words. We both scramble away from each other, our eyes locked together. It really worked, we both start to say at the same time. We stop. Then again, we both speak at once. One of us has got to let the other one. We laugh nervously. Go ahead. You first, we both say. Okay, I will, the duplicate says quickly. What are you? Do you know that I just made a copy of myself, and it's you? Do you know who you are and who I am? You just made a copy of yourself? I whisper, suddenly feeling very cold. I sure did, the duplicate says. No, I shake my head. You got it all wrong. I'm David. I'm the one that's been here all along. I'm the one that made the copy, and you're the copy. Nope, says the duplicate, also shaking his head and sounding very sure of himself. I'm David. You're the copy. This is crazy, I burst out, scared now, but also angry. Come on, stop playing games. I know I'm the real David. Prove it, says the duplicate, who seems to have an annoyingly stubborn personality. I just know it. That's all, I insist. I was here by myself a minute ago. I tested out this thing with the fish. Then Angela called. I figured out I had to take off my clothes and press down the lever. And after that, you were here. I remember everything. I remember everything too, the duplicate says very quietly, sounding just as scared as I am now. We're still staring at each other. Well, I say after a moment, shrugging uncomfortably, I guess, in a way, it makes sense. The duplicate seems to come with a complete memory. The speedy dupe must duplicate all the brain cells and everything, so we both think we're the original. That's got to be it, the duplicate says. Except I know I'm the original, I put in quickly. Look, there's no point in arguing about it forever. We'll never agree, says the duplicate. We just have to accept the fact that we both think we're the original, okay? That's exactly the kind of remark I would make. It's eerie how similar the duplicate's personality is. You're right, I agree with him. Let's stop arguing about it. Good, the duplicate says. Now we can move on to something else, like trying to decide who gets to go to Angela's and who has to go to Grandma's. I'm going to Angela's, I say, without thinking. Who says you are? I'm the original. I, I mean, we both have the same memories. We both want to go. He stands up. His body looks pretty good. Is that what my body looks like? Or is his better than mine? The first thing we have to do is put on some clean clothes, the duplicate says. He opens the closet, just as if it's his own closet, and turns and asks me, anything you particularly want to wear tonight? Well, I was sort of thinking of wearing that blue shirt over to Angela's, I tell him. I'm not sure I like the idea of sharing my clothes with this other person. Who says you're the one who's going over to Angela's? The duplicate asks me. We haven't decided that yet. But I'm the one she invited. I mean, now I'm confused and annoyed again. I had assumed that I, as the original, would be the one to decide which one of us did what. But since the duplicate has this powerful delusion that he's the original, it's not going to be that simple. Oh, just wear anything you want, I tell him, deciding what clothes to wear is going to be the least of our problems. The duplicate leaves the blue shirt in the closet for me. It's a hopeful sign. Maybe my first impression was wrong, and the duplicate isn't going to be so hard to get along with after all. We don't talk while we're putting on clothes. Then, when we're dressed, we both start to say, "Well, I was thinking that the best." We stop and wait. Then I say, "You were going to say we should flip a coin, right?" "Right." "It's interesting how much we think alike," the duplicate says, reaching into the dirty pants I dropped on the floor, which still have my wallet and change in them. "It's almost like having ESP." "Not really," I say, fighting the impulse to tell him to keep away from my money. "I mean, I guess what you're going to say because I know what you think like me, but I can't actually hear your thoughts or anything." "I can't hear yours either," the duplicate says, my change in his hand. Uh, I guess we should probably each take half the money." I can tell by the way he says it that the guy thinks he's being very generous to offer to share my money with me. I resent it, but getting mad at him won't do any good. He'll still think he's the original. That's the way the device constructed him. "Okay, we'll split the money," I agree, feeling generous myself for being so reasonable about it. "But one of us is going to have to get another wallet. We should both chip in for it." "No problem," the duplicate says, "but whoever goes to Angela's tonight should be the one to keep this wallet. The other one we won't need at Grandma's." "Fine," I say. I still believe that I'll be the one who gets to go to Angela's just because it only seems fair. I reach out my hand. "Here, give me my half of the money. Then I'll flip." "Wait a minute. How can I be sure you're not going to cheat?" "How can I cheat flipping a coin?" I ask, trying to sound reasonable, though I've been worrying about exactly the same thing. "I don't know," the duplicate says, handing me some money. I count it carefully. It's $5.37. But that doesn't prove he isn't cheating me, since I don't remember how much I had before. Only way I can find out is to ask to see how much money he's kept. But that seems cheap. "I guess it's okay if you flip," I tell him. "Okay," the duplicate says, and grins at me. I wish I'd kept my mouth shut. I'm always wishing that, after it's too late. The duplicate holds up a dime. "You want to call it in the air?" Yeah, I'll call it in the air," I say, letting my irritation show in my voice. The duplicate tosses the coin, and I call heads, my eyes fixed on the tumbling dime. It lands in the duplicate's palm, and he flips it over onto his other wrist. "Tails," the duplicate says, his eyes moving up from the coin to meet mine. I can see the effort he's making to keep his face expressionless and not to look smug. It's infuriating. "Not fair," I say. "What's not fair about it? I just flipped it. You saw the whole thing." "Yeah, but we never said you would turn it over after it landed," I protest, knowing I don't have much of an argument. "But that's how you always do it, isn't it?" "Okay, you go to Angela's." I turn angrily away from him. This isn't working out the way I had imagined it. I never would have made the duplicate if I had known it was going to be like this. "Oh, come on, don't be mad at me," the duplicate says. "Don't be upset. You don't really think it was unfair, do you?" He seems genuinely concerned. "Oh, I guess not. The main thing is, we've got to try to get along with each other," the duplicate goes on. "If we don't, nothing will work out." "You're right, I guess." I turn back to face him. "And next time, you get to do the fun thing, okay?" the duplicate offers, smiling at me. "Okay, I'll go along with that," I say, thinking again that he might not be too hard to get along with. Someone knocks on the door. "David, are you talking to yourself?" Mom calls from out in the hall. We look at each other and giggle, and both start to answer at once. The duplicate politely lets me say it. "Yeah, Mom, I guess I was." We giggle again. "Well, it's time to start getting ready." I nod at the duplicate to let him know it's his turn to answer. "Okay, I'm getting cleaned up right now," the duplicate tells her. We hide the speedy dupe under the bed. A few minutes later, I check out the rest of the house. Mom and Dad are both in their rooms, changing. I hurry back to my room. Okay, the coast is clear. Get going, I tell the duplicate. And have a good time. You too, the duplicate says, pausing at the bedroom door. And remember, next time, you get to do the fun thing, he repeats, as if he feels a little guilty. Fine, now get going while you still have the chance. The duplicate hurries quietly down the stairs. From my window, I watch myself leave the house and head off in the direction of Angela's, envying him. We agreed that we will both have to tell each other absolutely everything that happens, so the next time I'm with Angela or the duplicate is with Mom and Dad, neither will make any mistakes. Still, I'm not sure how much I can trust the duplicate. And I ask myself, if I were the one who was going to Angela's, would I come back and tell the duplicate everything that happened? Absolutely everything? I have to admit that I might not.